Hello, the story I want to share with you today took place in Setagaya Ward, Tokyo, Japan. Setagaya is one of the 23 special wards of Tokyo, located to the west of the city. It is renowned for its peaceful living environment, friendly residential neighborhoods, and high quality of life. Today's story unfolds here. The main characters of our story today are the Miyazawa family. Consisting of 4 members, Father Mikio Miyazawa, 44 years old, working at a large consulting firm, Mother Yasuko Miyazawa, 41 years old, a well-respected local teacher, and their 2 young children, daughter Nina, aged 8, and son Rei, aged 6. The Miyazawa family lived in a charming 2-story house located in a quiet, somewhat secluded neighborhood. The story takes place during the final days of the year 2000. Everyone was preparing to welcome the new year with new hopes and joys. Nobody could have imagined that a tragic event was about to strike this small family. On the evening of December 30th, 2000, the Miyazawa family spent their time as usual. Around 6 p.m., they had dinner together. Later, neighbors would recall still hearing the sounds of children's laughter and regular household activities coming from their home. However, those were the last sounds they would ever hear from the Miyazawa family.
Tragedy is about to unfold.
At night, a stranger, armed with a knife, climbed over the fence, entered through the second-floor bathroom window, broke into the house, and went straight to Rei's son's room. However, instead of using the knife, he suffocated his son to death with a pillow. At this moment, Mikio, who was working on the first floor, heard a strange noise and decided to go upstairs to check on his son's room. However, he unexpectedly encountered the murderer on the stairs. Without hesitation, the perpetrator immediately drew his knife and attacked. A struggle ensued, and Mikio was stabbed repeatedly in the neck, face, and body, eventually falling down the stairs and dying. However, before he died, Mikio managed to inflict serious injury on the perpetrator's right hand, a deep wound that penetrated the bone, and the murder weapon, the knife, also broke. At this moment, Yasuko and Nina were still fast asleep, totally oblivious to the terrible things that had happened to their husband and son. Having slain Mikio, the assailant moved on to the 3rd floor, where he mercilessly stabbed the mother and daughter. However, due to the broken knife, the stabs only resulted in wounds, so the perpetrator went down to the kitchen to retrieve a new knife and resumed the attack. While the perpetrator was downstairs in the kitchen, Yasuko, despite her severe injuries, tried to use whatever she could find to stop Nina's bleeding. However, the mother and daughter did not escape the murderer's blade. Even after they died, the perpetrator returned and repeatedly stabbed their bodies, causing them to become disfigured.
Who discovered this heartbreaking incident first?
On the morning of December 31st, 2000, Haruko, Yasuko's mother, who lived next door, visited her daughter's family as usual. But this time, she felt uneasy because no one answered despite her repeated knocking. Sensing something was wrong, she let herself inside and immediately encountered a scene that left her in shock. All 4 members of the Miyazawa family had been brutally murdered. Mikio's body was discovered at the bottom of the staircase on the 1st floor, having suffered numerous stab wounds. Yasuko and their daughter Nina were found murdered in a bedroom on the 2nd floor, both bearing severe injuries. Little Rei, the youngest child, was found in another bedroom, showing signs of having been strangled. As soon as they received the report, the police promptly arrived at the scene and began their investigation. They soon realized that the killer did not rush to leave the scene. Instead, he stayed inside the house for a considerable amount of time, using Mikio's computer, eating comfortably, and even changing into Mikio's clothes before leaving. DNA, fingerprints, and footprints of the perpetrator were scattered throughout the house. Police also discovered numerous personal items left behind by the killer, such as a handkerchief, jacket, and backpack, yet nothing of value was taken. Over 2 decades since the incident, Japanese police have conducted an unprecedented large-scale investigation. Hundreds of thousands of fingerprints and DNA samples have been checked, but the identity of the murderer remains unknown. Several theories have emerged. One common theory suggests the killer might have been homeless, mentally unstable, or simply psychologically disturbed, wandering around the area and randomly choosing the Miyazawa family as targets. However, this theory remains questionable due to the calmness and clarity exhibited by the killer during his actions. Another line of inquiry explored the possibility of a previous connection between the killer and the Miyazawa family. Despite interviewing many friends, neighbors, and relatives, the police found no significant conflicts or disputes. The Miyazawa family was well known for being kind and friendly individuals with no unusual relationships. Throughout the lengthy investigation process spanning decades, Japanese police have continually released new details about the case, seeking assistance from the public. In 2015, they disclosed information regarding the perpetrator's DNA, suggesting he could be of Asian origin or mixed Japanese ethnicity, left-handed, and possibly had lived abroad for an extended period. Nevertheless, the case remains unsolved to this day. For many years, residents of Setagaya have remained haunted whenever recalling this heartbreaking event. The Miyazawa family has become a sad symbol of an unsolved murder case, highlighting the challenges and complexities in criminal investigations. Each year, on the anniversary of the incident, locals still visit the house to light candles and pray in memory of the Miyazawa family. Although much time has passed, their story remains a constant reminder to society about life's fragility and the importance of justice. Today's video ends here. Hopefully, someday, justice will prevail, and the souls of the Miyazawa family will find peace. Thank you for listening. See you again in the next video. Goodbye.